Hey, Tyson Fury here, aka the Gypsy King, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, as you can tell. I think you've all heard that I'm going to be fighting soon, within the next few months. I think that before I announce an opponent, that I need to do this, just in case. Anthony Joshua, I know you've just lost a fight to Usyk and you're beltless at the moment. And I'd like to give you an opportunity to fight me for the WBC heavyweight championship of the world and the lineal championship in the next few months. You're coming off a 12-round fight, so you're match fit, you're ready. I'm giving you a few months' notice. If you're interested, I'll send you the date over and we can rumble. A Battle of Britain for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let me know if you're interested.
Is he interested? Come on, man, listen. AJ's all about the smoke. AJ probably said,
call my name and not come running.
Gunning. All you phoning looking to get done in.
The other day Frank was saying AJ's the B-side. But all I've heard so far is Shelly Finkel, we want Wilder to fight Joshua. Usyk was saying, yeah, I'll fight a trilogy with Joshua. And this nut job, he wants it. Was Fury trying to call his bluff, thinking, nah, they're not going to accept the fight. And then Frank's going to come out, well, we offered them the fight. They didn't want the fight. They didn't want to know. Well, if it was a bluff, the bluff has been called. Tyson Fury. Yo, at Anthony Joshua. We saying Big G, let's give the fans what they want. As Usyk is bitching. I got the date and venue. Who will rule Britannia? Joshua came back, yeah, calm. I don't do the online discussions just for clout. So if you're really about it, shout at 258 management. I do not do the online discussions for clout. Khalas, an Arabic word meaning done, enough. I'll be ready in December. Bob Arum said he was going to try and finalize the Fury versus Usyk fight. First 3 months of 2023. Usyk came out and said it's impossible that he fights Tyson in December 2022. But Fury's got it in his mind that he's going to fight in December, despite what Arum had to say. Recently, there's been stories that he's talking to Manwell Char, Thor from Game of Thrones, and this AJ thing came up, and tomorrow he may say something totally contradictory to fighting AJ, because you just can't keep up with Tyson Fury. Not Bob Arum, not Frank Warren, not nobody. The man has no switch off at all. None. But before we start buying imaginary tickets for AJ and Fury in imaginary pay-per-views, the Fury and Usyk Undisputed fight has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. Let's start with Fury. People have been talking about Usyk and himself fighting for Undisputed. What is he doing talking with Manwell Char and Thor? How did AJ come up after 2 losses on the bounce? You're going to fight the man who lost twice on the bounce, but not the guy who beat him twice on the bounce. How did that happen? Why is that happening? Is he saying basically he can't wait until March next year? Arum said the first 3 months of 2023. What's up with Fury and this impulsive, it has to be December 2022? What's up with that exactly? Does he want the Usyk fight? Is there something he don't like about Usyk's style? Are they both a bit wary of each other and they need a little more time to prepare for each other? Is this what's going on? Or is it simpler than that? Can Bob Arum make this fight work, Fury versus Usyk, economically without the backing of the Saudis? Because look, Fury fights AJ in December. There ain't going to be no Usyk fight in March. Trust me. It just doesn't happen these days. 3 months between world title fights? Maybe Canelo, but no one else is doing that. No one else. Why are both teams not really taking it that serious? Boxing fans want to see an undisputed heavyweight champion. What happened to Fury with the £500 million ransom to fight Usyk for undisputed or he retires? What happened to that? What happened to Anthony Joshua must fight Daniel Dubois or Joe Joyce before Tyson Fury's showdown can be considered? What happened to that, Frank? Frank said that a couple of weeks back. I heard Frank Warren talking to Simon Jordan about the fight, and Simon Jordan was talking about some multi-platform, both DAZN and BT, putting it on pay-per-view and then share the revenue between both networks. Tyson Fury said he's glad for it to go on DAZN and BT. I don't think we've had a cross-network pay-per-view in the UK before. I don't think we've did it before. I bet Joyce and Dubois ain't too happy that Joshua's going to jump the queue after Frank was saying that Joshua is the B side to them too. And Fury. Is there a lack of enthusiasm, or do they just need a lot of time to build up this Fury-Usyk fight, even though it's for 4 belts? Is the enthusiasm there from Team Fury to make that fight? I'm sure Usyk's team will be keen to make it, but they've got to get the backing. And right now it's Eddie doing all the wheeling and dealing with the Saudis and with Abu Dhabi and the Emirates. Can these other parties like Khrushchev and Klimas or Frank and Bob, can they secure the bag from the Middle East? Can they secure the bag? Especially after Bob and Frank and Fury fumbled that bag last year. It kind of looks like when these parties cannot secure the bag, they go back to AJ. They run back, yeah, we'll fight AJ. We need AJ. They'll give us the bag if AJ's involved. Klimas came back and said Fury versus AJ would be a good fight between 2 losers to see who's better. And he says that Usyk will beat Fury after they fight. The truth is, though, if Mike Tyson said, I can't fight in December, George Foreman, heavyweight champions of the past, there's a few, then Fury wouldn't be able to just skip out of an undisputed fight with Usyk so easy. I don't think Arum or Warren are that thrilled to put Fury in there with Usyk, knowing that, yeah, Fury would be a big favourite, but it's probably going to be a very awkward fight, and if Fury does win, he might not look that good, and there's a good chance Usyk could steal a points decision by just being too clever. No firework display, but a clever display of boxing. And they're looking at the landscape thinking, well, the people in the Ukraine or Eastern Europe might want to see it, but in America, they're not calling for it. In Britain, they're not going crazy for that fight either. So they're thinking, well, if these territories, the biggest territories, the UK and America, are not pressuring Tyson Fury to take the fight, why take it? Let the fight build is what they're saying. Let there be some more demand and then go for it. But right now, they're thinking they can put Tyson Fury in easier fights and get money. For instance, Fury went back and forth with Manuel Charr. Well, Manuel Charr will take a 500,000 purse without no resistance, maybe even less. And if it sells 300,000 pay-per-view in America, they have a better chance of breaking even and maybe even making a profit because they haven't broke the bank to pay the opponent. Well, you think Bob Arum is going to dip in his pocket just to give Usyk a whole load of money for him to make Tyson Fury look awkward in the ring? To do what? 300,000 pay-per-view in America? No, they're not going to do it. What? To impress a couple of quote-unquote hardcore boxing fans or hardcore journalists in the media? That middle finger's going up to all that. And before anyone says anything, I want to see the Undisputed fight. And I want to see Usyk fight the best challengers. Tyson Fury either tells outright lies or he embellishes the truth. But in 2020, he said Usyk was not a target for him. He's a no-name, no one's interested, doesn't make any money. He's a small cruiserweight, doesn't speak good English, and nobody's really interested anyway. He wants big fights that people are interested in. And obviously, after Usyk won the belts, that changed a little. He was on Tyson Fury's radar. But yesterday, he was saying the AJ fight is a bigger fight than Usyk. Is it all about the money? And I guess if you're asking for 500 million, you're not going to get that with Usyk. He's not going to get that with AJ, but it'll get closer, or at least a way bigger payday with AJ. And if that's all he's dealing with is money, then he's making the right choice for himself. Perhaps he doesn't care about Undisputed like the fans do. If he doesn't, we don't get the Undisputed fight. You might not want to admit it, but he is in a position of power. And is he exploiting that position? Now, we've all heard of the phrase little man complex. Does this guy have big man complex? I don't think he can handle losing to someone Usyk's size, a middleweight. I don't think he can handle it. I think he'd rather lose to AJ than Usyk. You know, Klimas with that tweet almost seemed to have given in. If the injuries are real, bring up some documentation. Your man is injured. He can't fight until next year. Bring something. But you have to put the burden of proof on Fury that it's him who is not willing to make the fight. Not you. That's what you have to do. Public opinion is important here. See people talking about, Klimas is free from Eddie Hearn. After we're dealing with Fury, Warren and Arum right now, Eddie Hearn is going to seem like Klimas' best pal. They wasn't given no resistance by AJ. As soon as Usyk's mandatory came up, the fight was on. The fight was on. There was no resistance from AJ or Hearn. Or am I missing something? Go ask Dillian Wyatt. All the obstacles he had to go through to get a fight, first with Deontay Wilder, which he didn't get, And then Tyson Fury. I tell you what, if Usyk thought he was a drawer and he's free from Eddie and all these power moves are going to fall into his lap, nah, there's going to be a lot of head games and a lot of mindfuck shit. And it's just started. They've got the 3 belts. You proved you're a better fighter than AJ. Yes, but AJ's still the draw. 94,000 fans in gate receipts, that's 15 or 16 million. 2 million pay-per-views at £30 is 60 million. That's what Frank Warren's forecasting, and that's what I'm forecasting as well. 2 million pay-per-view buys. This is the maximum revenue they can generate without the Saudis and the site fee. They can't make that kind of money with Usyk. That's what they're saying here. This is what they're saying. They're going to leave Usyk until last. That's if Fury gets past AJ. They're going to leave it right until last, or not at all. If the Saudis were going to bankroll the Usyk thing, it might happen. But once they're out, no way. You know, they look at it. They don't think Usyk is good for a 30, 20 million purse or whatever he's going to demand with the 3 belts. They're not having it. They're not having it. They're looking at it like, apart from the 3 belts, Usyk isn't doing anything to generate the type of purse he's going to take from that fight. You know, but they know they can't ask Usyk to take 5 million or anything like that. They know they can't do that. So they're not even bothering. Simon Jordan was asking Frank, why have you just left Usyk there like a nobody? Paraphrasing. Like a nobody. And Frank couldn't really answer. There's a lot of twists in this plot to go. The Saudis are still in the picture. They offered £125 million worth of site fee for the aborted Undisputed fight between AJ and Fury. Do they want to get involved? Do they want to run the risk of getting stung by Fury and Bob Arum again and the fight not happening?
Hi guys, quick one. I'm being bombarded with messages on how much am I going to pay AJ. Everyone's saying 80, 20, 70, 30, 75, 25. The actual answer is I've offered him 60, 40, 40% of this amazing fight because I want this fight to happen. He doesn't have any excuses now not to take it. He can't say I've lowballed him, offered him 20%, 30%. I've offered the people 40%, take it or leave it. Let us know. Boom.
60-40 is what Tyson Fury is offering up. Now, I'm going to throw a little conspiracy out there. I think Tyson Fury could have been training for AJ since April, after he beat Dillian. They could have been planning this all along. We're not going to take the Usyk fight. Whether AJ loses to Usyk or not, this is still a huge fight. And they're planning to get AJ in the ring in November. The Usyk fight happened when? Late August. AJ has a couple of months to get rested, then get back in camp and prepare for Tyson Fury. If anyone believes that Tyson Fury just thought this up today, or Frank Warren just thought this up today, no, they've had this plan for a little while. Boxing is full of snakes and charlatans who are very good at spinning a narrative and pulling the wool over people's eyes. Remember when the arbitration fell apart and Bob, within hours, came up with a venue and a date for the 3rd fight with Wilder? Because they were planning it for a little while. Now, if AJ is going to take the fight, he should insist on December. Insist. Not November, December. That's fair. I believe they're trying to pull a fast one, but that's just my opinion. Also, Bob Arum's silence and Fury and Warren popping up everywhere is a concern. Are they on the same page? Bob Arum was talking to Kriegel. Is it Kriegel from ESPN? He was talking about a 50-50 split with Usyk, and they were going to target it for February, right? For February, in the Middle East. Now, surely Bob hasn't finished any negotiations he's doing with the Saudis, but Frank Warren and Fury are out here doing what? Frank Warren seemed to be delighting in snaking Eddie out of the Boazzi-Pascal fight, him and Lou DiBella. And now they're going to be best buds and promote this event? I mean, what's Eddie going to do? Start tapping up the Saudis like he did in 2021 for the whole thing to fall apart, for Bob Arum to come out and say, I've got the deal done. We're fighting Usyk in February or March or whenever Usyk's ready. But are Fury and Warren on the same page as Arum? Is a major factor before we go any further or get too carried away. Also, AJ should not take the November date. He shouldn't take it. If you really want to fight AJ that bad and it's such a great event like you're saying it's going to be, you can wait until December. Or no deal. Go fight Manuel Charr. Deja vu. Deja vu. Are Warren, Fury and Arum planning to use all the traction and headlines they can get of a potential Fury AJ fight, knowing that the British public and people around the world are going to be really excited, and then turn left and go fight Usyk for Undisputed in Saudi Arabia or wherever, maybe in America. I can't get that out of my head. I'm a skeptic at this point, but you never know. I'm a skeptic though. Like I said, Frank Warren came across well in the Talk Sport interview. Didn't badmouth Eddie, didn't badmouth Joshua. Tyson Fury hasn't badmouthed AJ, hasn't called him a bodybuilder or anything like that. 60-40 and all this good stuff. Look how reasonable the offer is. But the truth is, if you really wanted to get AJ in that ring, the dates wouldn't be an issue. You'd just say December, because that would be fair. I have a feeling the date and then other things are going to come up. Bob Arum's going to pop up and we'll have to hear what he says. But I'm a skeptic. You know, Eddie said that they're going to continue doing what they were doing, getting AJ back in December. And there's no way Eddie's going to be running around after the Saudis only for it to go all wrong and lose his connects there. There's no way he's going to do that.